The lesson.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that takes us all the way up until 2009 after Terra Firma,
Yep.
Simplex done his solo thing.
Yep.
Now, since then, there's been a couple of bits and pieces. Like, I mean, prior to that, in 2007, you did some cuts on Declassified.
Yeah, man.
Which is Damos.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
That
guess.
was so good to be a part of.
Wait, tell me what you think. Like, because you would have been previewed to a lot of that music before it dropped, obviously, because you're doing cuts.
Yep.
Did you hear those punchlines and just be like, "Oh, man, this dude's going to piss off a lot of people"?
No, I never really took any of them as, in my opinion, the way people should look at it is it's good to be mentioned. Do you know what I mean? None of them are like massive slurs on, or there's probably one about anecdotes, jawbone or whatever. That one's, could probably be, whiteling, but none of it was in like major malice or whatever.
Nah.
It was just like real play on words and like,
very clever, incredible.
So, and plus, man, like he was such, like all the people I've seen record with Simo, he'd be booked in at like 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. He'd turn up at like 10 to. Simo would be like just getting up, whatever, coming, what do you want to do? And he'd be up this first, and all laid out, like his 3 or 4 hours that he's got with Simo or whatever, all laid out. He just knows what he wants to do. And he'd go to me, I want cuts on this track, here, and here, about this, and this. You're like, just super organised.
He knew
man.
what he wanted.
And just super talented, man. Like I remember first time seeing him, just like, dude, like he'd rock up in like Australian cricket, like yellow Guernsey, shorts and thongs. And be like, and you just get in there and just tear it apart, man. I'll be like, this dude is. The first one that was recorded was the last track on the album. I think Ian Thorpe reference and shit. That was the first. And that was done about 2 years earlier.
Yeah, right.
And I'd done the cuts on that straight away, and it was like, I can't wait to hear the rest of it. So good.
And in that time, everyone that was rapping in Adelaide was really coming out the south side.
Yep.
And he was actually like the first dude out of the north side.
Yeah,
like heavy north.
Yeah. What is it? I come from the north side, so of course I got to snatch props. Like it's so good, man. It's so many. I still listen to that, man. I've got.
Do you remember that line that he had? And I was laughing about it with Disaster because I heard because I've heard on Battle Hogs 3.
Yep.
I've heard Battle Hogs 3.
Okay.
Never got released.
Oh yeah.
And that has a Hunter solo where it's firing back at Damo because Damo had a line like, my sense of humor is darker than the brown guy from Downside or something like that. And then he had another one. It's just like battling me is something like you're asking for disaster like heads at Hunter shows or something like that.
Yeah, so he took it as a diss.
Yeah, obviously.
It's just play on words.
And I've heard and I'm like, oh man, like I can't believe that this never got released, man.
I don't know. I didn't, when we were doing it, I didn't think of it as this is going to be offensive to people. It was just like, you should be liking that you mentioned because it's all part of the scene. But
you obviously noticed that once it was released, people took offense to it.
Yeah.
Or some
100%.
people took offense to it.
Yeah.
Like I heard Hijack and Torture just like wouldn't let him come to Sydney. I don't remember what the line was. I asked Bones about it. He said he didn't know nothing about it.
Wouldn't let him come to Sydney.
Some shit. This again, man.
Like, you have to go through them to get to Sydney.
Maybe it was a dude on Oz Hip Hop Forum making that shit up.
But it's a great album, man. It's like...
Oh, it's incredible. It's the best punchline rap album from Australia ever.
Reminds me of Chino Excel's first
album. I was
just
about to say. They actually have a track together, man.
Wow.
Yeah. It makes perfect sense, hey? It's like 2-3 years old.
Killer.
And as soon as I seen the credits, I was just like, this is like meant to be.
Yeah, he phoned me up. It's got to be 5 or 6 years ago now to do cuts on. I forget. He was working with someone from the States to do it, but it just never eventuated or whatever. Forget what it was for. But yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's super talented.
Oh, man.
Super talented, man. One of the best rappers I've heard from the country.
We have been trying to get Damo on here.
Yeah.
And he rocked up once.
Yeah.
I thought he rocked up for an interview.
Yeah.
Dude rocked up just to say g'day. Haven't seen him in like 15 years.
Killer.
Pops in to say g'day. I'm like, are you getting a chair? And he's just like, nah. It's just like, I just came here to say hello. And we're just like, dude.
Yeah.
And then every time we put up on like the polls, who would you like to us to interview? It's always Brad Strutt, Pegz, and Damo.
Yep. Yeah, there was only one that we didn't... One I remember that he had written, and I think it got recorded, and Simo was like, nah, you can't have that. And it was something about like the way Pegz throws his voice or whatever. Like, yeah, and it was something to do with that. And we're like both straight away like, nah, dude, like, and that kind of did have a tone of like,
yeah.
So that's the only one I remember
that just wasn't allowed on
plus,
the album.
Yeah, I don't in any way want to offend, and he wouldn't either, man. Like Pegz is a serious dude.
I've heard.
You can, yeah.
I've heard.
And plus, like, my relationship with him goes right back, and when I heard it, I'm like, oh, that does sound a bit
offensive.
And I'm pretty sure Simo said, no, dude, we're not recording it. He deleted it, and it got rewritten to someone else or whatever.
Yeah,
that's the one I remember, man.
The rest got the tick of approval.
Yeah, the rest of them are like green light.
Word. And I guess last question before we get out of here. You guys obviously performed at a lot of festivals, concerts.
Yep.
You know, you name it. Yep. You guys did it. I guess most memorable show, and in particular, like, you guys opened up for Kool Keith and Digital Underground?
Yep.
At some point.
And we did shows with Digital Underground here in, I think, Melbourne and Sydney. That was awesome. Kool Keith was a festival in Sydney at Luna Park.
Weird unit, hey.
Yep.
Tell us what you...
Proper. Yeah, like he had all these weird riders and stuff, and I just remember like everyone tearing their hair out backstage. Basically, he ordered. There was a tray of fried chicken. Like, I'm not kidding, man. It was enormous. But the worst thing I remember from that, I'm pretty sure it was the Alchemist DJing for him. Because we did that show, but we basically got given a terrible time, like 1 PM or something, and we're like, that's not going to happen. So we just basically left Luna Park and reappeared at like 5:30. And the chick's like, what the fuck? Like, where have you been? So she chucked us on. We kind of like threw the whole schedule out for the show. He got on late and he goes to initially it started with the dude running the stage. This poor dude, he just goes, I need a fresh martini before I go on. To this poor dude running the stage, man. I was just like ringside for it, man. I'm like, oh. Where are you going to get that from? I just remember straight away. Where are you going to... And he goes, oh, he ran off like his headset and then got the promoter, the dude running the whole thing. He goes, what do you need? He goes, fresh martini. And the dude like took 30 minutes. I don't know where they got it from. But by this stage, they're late on. Everyone's pelting the stage with shit, like bottles and that. Everyone's booing. He comes on, jumps on stage. Like Alchemist goes to press the first. And he gets the martini. Doesn't even...
Oh, he threw it!
Held onto the glass, but just threw it out into the...
It took him half an hour to get it.
Ridiculous, man. I was just thinking, like, whoa. Like, it's cool. He can do what he wants. You know what I mean?
He's a weird unit, man.
Oh, yeah, but I was like, straight away, I was like, fuck, that's fucked. Like, I just thought to myself, that's awful. But Karma, halfway into the first track, power out. He kicked a cord or something underneath the thing. And that, man, more booing. I was like, ugh. There's no more martinis, you know? Like, yeah, it was instant karma.
When I met him, he was cutting sick at me because at soundcheck after soundcheck, he asked me where the porn stores are at, like the Triple X stores. Yeah. And I didn't know where they were at. So I was just like, I got no idea, but we're on Hindley. Yeah. Just walk up and down the strip. And he just turns around to me and he's like, what the fuck you mean you don't know where the pussy stores is at? And looked at me like there was something wrong with me. Yeah. And I'm thinking, dude, there's something really wrong with you.
I could have given him like GPS coordinates. Here. What hour are you thinking? I just give him like full rundown.
I just figure, well, Hindley, man, you can just walk out of there and fall into one.
That's Carlos, actually, that did the Full Effect mag and has just done the new Time Bomb magazine. He toured with, he was a tour manager with a punk band throughout America, and he met him at some obscure, they hit it off and had a massive night. Yeah, he's like
massive night with Kool Keith.
Yeah, just like, oh, he's a white dude from Australia. He's all other, no, he's the only white dude there, like. Yeah. Weird cat, huh?
The lesson. Oh, yeah.